Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Mosai, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba, not Yahuwah, not Hashem, not Yahweh, Haveh, Vaveh. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, not Yahusha, not Jesus Christos. It's Yahweh Shai. So we got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elder, bishop, and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether you accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim, believing this truth and pushing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the whole elect. Shalom to the author of this and learning. If you sister this and learning, I'm Isaiah from GMS Orlando Camp, Prophet of Doom, coming into another lesson in true facts, faith, and edification, another day of edification, Lord willing, this be edifying. And this is another spiritual rant. So I was listening to this video with George Galloway and Scott Ritter, and they said something that triggered my spiritual reflexes. Hey, so Lord will be edifying. First and foremost, this is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for monetary gain. So let's go to this.
It's the one and only Scott Ritter who joins me now on the mother of all talk shows. Scott, always a delight to see you, especially on a night like this where, frankly, it's difficult to keep up with the wars and the wars that are raging and the wars that are on the brink. Let's start with what happened, if you can, in Doha yesterday. Whose fault was it? Who knew what, and when did they know it?
Well, ultimately, it's Israel's fault. These were Israeli aircraft firing missiles that were aimed by Israel into a sovereign state, seeking to assassinate a delegation of Hamas leadership that had been summoned to Qatar by the Qatari leadership at the behest of an American president who claimed that he was giving Hamas one last chance to, find a path towards a ceasefire. Hamas was acting in good faith. Israel clearly wasn't. But we know what Israel is, this illegal nation, this illegal entity that, violating international law is, part of their daily existence. It's in their life's blood. What's surprising this time is the fact that the White House has opted to distance itself from the reality of American complicity. I'm here to tell you right now, George, and your audience, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that Israeli aircraft took off from Israel, transited Syrian, Iraqi airspace, made their way down the Gulf towards Qatar and the most sensitive, important American base in the Middle East, and avoided detection by the United States. There's no way they launched weapons at a facility in Doha that's very close to this American base, and that these weapons somehow skirted the American defenses, the Qatari defenses. The fact of the matter is, these planes would have been detected over Syria, over Iraq, America would have intercepted them if they had not had prior coordination, deconfliction of airspace, and any threat approaching Qatar that's unidentified and launches 6 missiles, those missiles would be intercepted and those aircraft would be shot down. The fact that Israel was able to do this, refuel twice, means that the United States was fully knowledgeable of this attack beforehand, and we did everything possible to facilitate this attack. The President of the United States is simply lying when he says otherwise. So clearly there's the blame to be, spread onto the United States as well.
Spread around, but I mean, what does this mean then for the future, particularly in the Gulf, but around the world? I mean, it's only a few months ago that Qatar sent Trump away laden with gold and diamonds and Boeing 747s and all the treasure of Croesus. The United States has the best possible relationship with the family business that is Qatar, and yet the President of the United States that went off with all that wealth from Qatar stabs Qatar in the back. What does that mean?
Well, it means ultimately that the United States has no true friends, no true allies. The United States can't even call Israel a friend and an ally. We are completely beholden to Israel. That's not friendship. It's not an alliance. We are subservient to Israel. We subordinate our legitimate national security interests to the whim of this mad genocidal maniac that currently governs in Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. But what this should be is a lesson to all Gulf Arab states and indeed any nation in the world. The United States is not your friend. We will drop you like a bad habit if and when we determine that you're no longer in our vested interests. This should be a lesson to Saudi Arabia, to Kuwait, to Bahrain, to the United Arab Emirates, to any other Gulf Arab nation that believes the United States is there for them. We will flush you down the toilet of life on behalf of Israel. The Israelis aren't even hiding this fact, that while President Trump says that no one will ever again be able to attack Qatar, that this act will not be repeated, the Israeli ambassador to the United States is saying, we're going to kill Hamas wherever we find them. We'll do it anytime we want. We don't care what they say. And the reason why he's empowered to say that is he knows the truth. He knows that Donald Trump greenlit this, that Donald Trump facilitated this. This is an act of perfidy. Donald Trump, 2 days prior to the assassination attempt, told Hamas that they needed to come and participate in this talk. He got the Qatari government to issue the invitation. Hamas responded and was set up for an assassination. I mean, who will ever deal with the United States again? How can we ever be trusted as an interlocuteur, as a moderator, as a genuine a facilitator of peace? All we are is an instrument of Israeli assassination. Ask the Iranians.
The message then will have been heard in Moscow as well as everywhere else. To what extent is the United States negotiating honestly in any of these theaters?
We're not negotiating honestly at all. We deceive. We seek to gain advantage. Look, the Russians are aware of this. I spoke with Anatoly Antonov when he was the ambassador here, and he said that the Russian experience with the New START treaty, the negotiation, opened their eyes, where the United States lied during negotiations, promised certain things were going to happen, such as the United States would work with Russia on the issue of missile defense once the New START treaty had been finished and ratified. But the United States then walked away from it because we had no intention of dealing with Russia on missile defense. We lie, we cheat, we steal. This is what we do. And here we have Russia trying to enter into some sort of negotiated settlement with the United States. But how can Russia ever trust us? We can give, the Trump administration can give certain assurances to Russia, but what the Russians need to know now and understand now is that the United States will back away from this when it's convenient for the United States to back away from. This is what we do with all arms control treaties. This is what we did with the ABM treaty. This is what we did with the INF treaty, and this is what we're going to do with the New START treaty. It's inconvenient, therefore we back away. Our word is meaningless. Our bond is nothing.
And of course, the great warmongers, Keir Starmer and Emmanuel Macron, might be gone by the weekend. Paris is in flames. and Keir Starmer's premiership is in flames as a result of Peter Mandelson and 100 other things. So it's not looking great for Zelensky. If he was hoping for a European Foreign Legion, a kind of beau geste affair coming out of France and England, well, he probably now knows that neither of these political leaders actually has the strength to deliver anything at all to the war front. Would you say?
No, I agree with that assessment. This is why what happened yesterday is very important. As you might be aware, there were reports of up to 7 Russian drones crossing into Polish airspace. This has now become a major crisis where Poland has, basically asked for Article 4 protection. The NATO membership is now meeting to talk about how to respond to this act of Russian aggression. But what we know is that this wasn't Russian aggression. What we know is that this was a Ukrainian electronic warfare operation that has been orchestrated by NATO. For years, Ukraine has been building something called the Pokrova system, and it's a integrated electronic warfare system that is designed to take control of Russian drones. First, it was done to crash the drones, then it was done to retarget the drones into Russia. Over the past several months, 100 Russian drones have been taken over by the Ukrainians and sent back into Russia. We know this. The Ukrainians admit it. And what we have here today is that Ukraine took over 7, 8 Russian drones and sent them into Polish airspace. We know this. We can detect this. NATO knows this. This is a false flag operation by the Ukrainians designed in an act of desperation to get NATO to intervene. I'm hopeful that the President of the United States will be fully briefed on Pokrova, on the electronic warfare situation, shown the intelligence that shows that these drones were captured by the Ukrainians and redirected by the Ukrainians. But what we're going to see now is increasing acts of desperation by Ukraine, designed to create provocations that will lure Europe into their losing conflict with Russia. It's a very dangerous situation right now.
Yes, and not only there, the U.S. warships are still off the coast of Venezuela. The bogus casus belli of the drug trafficking boat that Trump boastfully showed in the Oval Office turned out to be a little local fishing boat with not enough engine power on board to get out of Venezuelan waters, never mind into American waters. It had 11 men on it, which would have been 11 bags of cocaine if it truly had been a drug trafficking boat. Venezuela is becoming fully mobilized and armed. China, which recently made a huge investment in Venezuelan oil, is warning the US against an invasion. Is this just a blind from Trump? Has he got a plan to attack somewhere else? Or is he really going for it in Venezuela?
Sadly, I think Donald Trump is really going for it in Venezuela. As we speak, there is a draft of a national security strategy document on the new Secretary of War's desk. And this document basically says that the United States will be disengaging from Europe, the Middle East, and lowering its profile in the Pacific for almost a singular focus on Fortress America, on defending the Western Hemisphere. And a key element of this is to bring Venezuela under our control. We've seen Secretary of State Marco Rubio, go out of his way to identify Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, as a narco-terrorist who's been indicted by the Southern District of New York and is nothing more than a fugitive escaping American justice. And while you and I can scoff at this, this is the very argument that was made by the United States in 1989 to invade Panama and remove Manuel Noriega from power, bring him to American courts, put him in jail for life, and he died in prison in 2017. I think the United States right now is fully committed to a regime change operation in Venezuela, one that will incorporate both direct American military action combined with whatever covert resources the CIA and regional intelligence services working at the behest of the CIA can bring to bear in terms of fomenting opposition to Nicolas Maduro. This is a serious operation, and I unfortunately believe it's going to have tragic outcome.
Finally, the situation in Nepal was probably not on either your bingo card nor mine, and unless I'm mistaken, in your case, I'm certainly not any kind of expert in Nepal. But I did take a look at some of their most prominent visitors last year, and I discovered that Victoria Nuland, the Angel of Death, was there right at the end of the Biden administration. Samantha Power. I discovered that George Soros and the whole gang of color revolutionists have all been extremely busy in Nepal. Is that registering anywhere in the US? Because, you know, Trump's supposed to hate George Soros, frequently threatens to prosecute him, but it turns out they're on the same side in a lot of these places. What do you know about it, Scott?
Well, unfortunately, George, you're 100% correct. This wasn't on my bingo card, my geopolitical bingo card. And like you, I'm rapidly trying to come to grips with what has happened, and I'm hesitant to speak out authoritatively about this because I simply don't know what is going on. I have superficial knowledge based upon watching some videos and reading some commentary, but I apologize, but I can't speak to it any more than that. I like you and like your audience, am going to have to go do a deep dig. But the fact that these three, this triumvirate of evil, have paid a visit to Nepal in recent age should be a good place to start to try and unravel what exactly is happening on the ground there.
Unraveling Kathmandu. Your military taste buds, though, must have been salivating at the precision and power of the Beijing parade. Parade like none I have ever seen. Anybody thinking about war with China after that really needs their heads examined, no?
Oh, absolutely. Look, the discipline that was on display there was impressive. Again, we need to differentiate between a parade ground military and a battlefield military, but the fact of the matter is, discipline is discipline, and the Chinese have discipline in spades. Not just the professionalism of their soldiers, but the equipment that they were carrying, that they were driving, that was on display, shows that China is not a second-rate power. You know, the United States always tends to brag about our ability to take on what we call near-peer opponents. The implication is that America has no peers. I think what we were watching at display in Beijing was a military that is easily the peer of the United States and maybe thinks of the United States as a near-peer opponent.
Colonel.
So, what he said that triggered my spiritual reflexes. He said America don't got no friends. America don't got no friends. America don't got no allies. So I just thought about these precepts. And that one video I just saw that said Rogue State Rise. I gotta watch that too. Where is it? It didn't pop up again. But it said Rogue State Rises, which you saw it. And the title said man, I should have clicked on it. It said Israel is drawing America. Israel has drawn America, something like that. When you see when the lesson go up, you'll see the title. It was at the bottom of it was at the other video that was up on the one I was listening to. It said Israel has drawn out America. Hey, but what Scott Ritter said, that Babylon the Great don't got no allies, man. It don't got no friends. So I thought about a couple precepts. First one here is in when you read, let's go to Obadiah. It's Obadiah 1 and 7. It reads, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Right? The allies are going to separate, man. And I thought about this one in Daniel 7. In Daniel 7, right here in verse 20 reads, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of the horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. This is talking about the miracle of Babylon the Great. And his look is more stout than his fellows. That pride, arrogance of America, Babylon the Great. Now here in Psalms 10, it mentions, going to that point about that pride, that arrogance, that look that America got out, other than, that look that America has at his fellows. Right here, Psalms 10 and 4. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all their thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. That's that look, man. That's that look that's more stout than his fellows, which is going to lead all the allies of America to separate. See, the next verse reads, let's go back to it. He said in his heart, verse 6, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Right? And you can go to Isaiah 47. When they say this, Isaiah 47 right here in verse 10. No, not 10, but let's highlight that. Right here, verse 7. Isaiah 47 and 7. And thou sayest, like it said in Psalms 10, I shall be elated forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither did remember the latter end of it. Right? He talking big trash, like they gonna be. She said, what? And thou sayest, I shall be elated forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. And you got to go back to Numbers 24, when the Lord said the latter end of Amalek shall be that they shall perish. See, right here, verse 8, therefore now hear this, therefore hear not this, that are given the pleasures that dwelleth carelessly, that says in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. See, this is what it said in Psalms 10. See, this is Babylon the Great boasting of its power, which is another precept in Revelation 18. Right here, Revelation 18, in verse where is it? Right here, verse 7. Revelation 18 and 7. How much she glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, like it said in Psalms 10, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Let's go back to Psalms 10. See, this is that look. Psalms 10 and 6. He said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. See? And then the precepts in Isaiah 47 and in Revelations 18 show you that, hey, this place, it will be destroyed, man. But Psalms 17, to add to the precept, Obadiah 1 and 7, and the Psalms 10, going back to that he puffed at his enemies. Hey, the Lord gonna cause America to stand alone. And guess what? Israel gonna stand alone as well, man. I gotta go and find this video. What it said? Rogue State Rise. That's what it said. I gotta find that video because it said Israel draws out America. Let me see if I can pull it up here when I get done with this. Revelation 17 and 17. And God, it reads verse 16, and in 10 horns that thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. See? And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her naked and desolate, and shall make her salaki, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. See? And the Lord said it, man, that their nakedness is going to be seen, man, because they made everybody else naked. All the other nations had to follow the ways of the so-called white man. They had to follow the ways of America. The elites controlled the world from America. But it was the Americans. It was the Americans. It was America's dominion. It was America's hegemony through their draconian measures, right? Their statues, their way of life. His look is more stout than his fellows, man. So because of that look, let's go to their pride, their arrogance. Oh, let me look at that word. They puff at their enemies, man. Because of that look, they puff at their enemies a certain way. Let me see if I can go to this in blue letter. Let's go here. Daniels. Where is that? Let's go to Daniel 7. And look at this. What was that? Verse 20. Let's look. Let's look up the word look. See what it says. 23:76. Vision, appearance. Okay, as sight, look, vision. Okay. To gaze upon, to dream, be usually, i.e. seen, okay. Correspondent, to gaze upon, okay. I just want to see if we went into something else. It said with pleasure, mentally to perceive, gaze, provide, prophecy, look, prophesy, see. Okay, so you're really going into too much. With the intelligence, that's heavy. To see as a seer in a stellic state. Just look this word up. It's a feeling or expression overwhelming happiness or joyful excitement. Yeah, that was a miracle, but this place is done. Involving an experience of mystic self-transcendence. Yeah, that's the Edomites for you. That's a self-proclaimed white man for you right there. Involving an experience of mystic self-transcendence. That's the so-called white man for you, man. That's heavy. Yeah. So, also, let me go back to this. Let me see if I can pull this up. It said, Rogue. That was, Jeffrey Sachs. Rogue State Rise. Let's see if it'll come up. Let me type in one with Jeffrey Sachs. Let me type in Jeffrey Sachs. Jeffrey. No, I know that's wrong. Salakia. Damn, I forgot to spell sex. Israel is a road stage. Nope. What it was I just saw, man. It said Israel draws out America. The end of Western power and rise of China and Russia. Where's the one, man? Bear with me here. I just want to find this before I close out. It won't open it up. It won't let me see. Maybe it's the scroll. If I scroll down something here. Hey, America don't got no friends, man. You heard them. America don't got no friends, man. It won't pop up. There you go. No, it ain't. What the hell is it, man? Anyway, when I load the video up, I'll find it, because then I see it. It was right there when I was listening to the video. It won't pop up, so I ain't gonna worry about it. But it said Rogue State. Oh, it said Rogue State Rising. That's what it said. Let's see if it come up like that. Hey, it's a Jeffrey Sachs calls Israel a rogue state. Hey, man, these is them tons of proverbs in Micah 2 and in Habakkuk 2, man. I don't know why the hell it won't pop up, but I'm going to get it. I'm going to have to listen to that. I might have to do a lesson on it too. But you'll see it when I put the lesson up. You'll see it. As I was playing the video, it was a video that was up under it. It say Israel draws out America. Hey, so anyway, Lord was edifying. I just saw this and I want to bring out those couple of precepts, man. Lord was edifying. Let me give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rikah Kodash. We double honors to the apostles, elder, bishop, and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. In a sincere salutation to all the arguing, believing this truth and pushing this truth with the four winds of the earth, the entire world, sharing light to the whole elect. Shalom to the Akwath who listen learning. If you sisters will listen learning. Throughout tuning in, may Yahweh Bashim Yahushua continue to bless you in your houses. May the blessing of Alexia be upon your houses. Till next time, I say Shalom, Wa Ubab Ball. Douglas McGregor, Europe on the edge of war with Russia. We know, man. The Lord raised up, these elites. Revelation 16, their job, the kings, the elite job, these three unclean spirits, their job, these three city states, their job is to draw the kings of the earth, man. Hey, the Lord is doing all this because you put your hands on the Hebrew Israelites, man. So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. You put your hands on the Israelites, man. The Lord say, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Hey, in Joel 3, the Lord say, his determination, oh no, that's Zephaniah. His determination is to gather the nations, man. Let's go to that. Let's get that. The Lord's determination is to gather the nations, man. See, the Lord is doing all this because these bastards put their hands on the Israelites, man. This is Zephaniah 3:8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. See, in Joel, hey, the Lord is using these devils, man, just to gather together. Gather together, you bastards. This is Joel 3:2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yahweh and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. See, the future prophecy, who is going to be in rulership when the Messiah returns? Who's parting the land of Israel? The so-called white man. You got the so-called white man, you got the so-called Arabs, and you got the so-called Iranians, man. Yeah. Our land is divided by line, man. 3 different nations in our land. That's the minimum. It's 3 different nations. But it's Edom, Amalek, the chief house of the so-called white man. They occupying that seat over there, man. But the Lord said, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yahweh and will plead with them there for my people Israel and for my heritage. Remember what the Lord said in Jeremiah to the so-called white man? Remember what you did to the Lord's heritage? Jeremiah 50. That's why I said Micah 2. Against this family, the Edomites, do the Lord devise an iniquity. Jeremiah 50 and 10. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoice, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as a heifer grass, and as bellows as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. The hindermost of the nations, which is America, shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. That's in Revelations 18. So, for what these bastards done, you put your hands on the wrong people, man. But in the eyes of the Lord, you put your hands on the right people. Hey, so Lord was edifying. Till next time I say Shalom, wa abba ball.